Welcome, beloved people, to my channel, which is about life and about death. And at night time, in about an hour's time, I usually upload paranormal. But today I wanted to share with you man's best friend. So, excuse me while I just swapped screens. You'll see a light come on. That's usually what happens because off the top of my head, when I'm doing something that's factual, I'm sorry, I'm getting a bit old and the old nerve endings don't remember everything. But before I switch over screens, I wanted to share two things with you. And that was when I went to school and I was in about grade 6. So I'm 11 years old. And I read this story, and it was based on a true story in the 1800s. And a man had left his cattle dog behind to look after the children. And while he went out to do his chores, his work, and the floor in those days was, just dirt. And anyway, a venomous snake, had crept under the gap under and the dog, the snake. Oh, something happened to the children, and the drover came, and anyway, the dog, because it's such a long time ago, we're talking about 50 years ago, the dog killed the snake and saved the children. But when the guy got home, he thought that the dog had done something to his children and killed the dog, and then later found out that the dog had saved his children. Now, I haven't got the story right exactly. It's called The Dover's Dog. So I think it's even by Patterson. You'll have to look that up and correct me. The other story I wanted to share with you was when I was a teenager, I came across this book. And in it was a story. This man, who was a policeman, had a dog. And they were like that. He loved this dog so much, and they shared such a close bond. Anyway, in the line of duty, it was really sad. The dog got shot, died. Next minute, the dog's reincarnated, and he's with this other family. And then you go through, he's like, say, a toy poodle or something, and it goes through the life of that story. And then about 4 or 5 times this dog dies and then gets reincarnated. And finally, the former policeman is an old man this time, and he comes to see a pup, and it just so happens to be the dog, which is a different breed. Every time the dog got reincarnated, it was a different breed, but it just so happened to remember its first owner. And stories about dogs, they get to me, they break my heart. There's Hatchie, and there's also a tale of the dog that, I think it was in England or Scotland in the, again, 1800s. The man died, and the dog would visit his grave every day until the dog passed away. Now, I don't want to get us too sad, so let me switch screens and let's talk about dogs. Hatchie will come up, but let's talk about our beloved companions. So, hello, viewers and history enthusiasts and fellow dog devotees. This afternoon, it's actually 4:37 on a Monday afternoon. I invite you to join me on a journey through time and affection as we explore the heartwarming tale of our loyal companions, the domestic dogs. These furry friends have been by our side for millennia, shaping history, tugging at our heartstrings, and occasionally causing us to play an impromptu game of fetch in the park. Did you know that there are over 340 different dog breeds in the world? From the majestic German Shepherds to the pint-sized Chihuahuas, each breed carries its own unique traits, much like a collection of historical artifacts. And speaking of history, the earliest evidence of dogs accompanying humans dates back some 20,000 to 40,000 years ago. Imagine those ancient dogs wagging their tails beside our prehistoric ancestors, ready to guard, hunt, and offer companionship in a world that was both wild and untamed. The average lifespan of a dog is around 10 to 13 years. My dog, I'm just interrupting here, my dog, who I've shown plenty times on YouTube, her name is Sahara. She's a terrier mix. She's nearly 11. So the average age is 10 to 13. Although some pups defy expectations and celebrate their 20th birthdays, almost like they've discovered the secret to everlasting belly rubs. And again, I'm going to interrupt. Many years ago, I knew of 2 Chihuahuas. One was 18 and a male, and one was a female and she was 20. Guess which died first? You got it, the male, the 18-year-old male. I don't know how long the 20-year-old Chihuahua went to live. I know of a cattle dog in Australia that made the Guinness Book of Records that lived to about 26, but correct me if I'm wrong. So anyway, these loyal companions have truly earned their title of man's best friend. They've stood by our sides through thick and thin, offering a listening ear or a floppy ear, depending on the breed, during our triumphs and heartaches. Now let's talk about the creme de la creme of the dog world, the top 5 favourite breeds around the globe. First on the list is the Labrador Retriever. These enthusiastic furballs are known for their playful nature, boundless energy, and the uncanny ability to devour a sandwich left unattended for just 2 seconds. Labs are like the joyful optimists of the dog kingdom, always ready for a game of catch or a belly flop into the nearest puddle. Next up is the German Shepherd, a breed that showcases intelligence, loyalty, and a work ethic that would put most office employees to shame. They're the ultimate multitaskers, herding sheep, assisting law enforcement, and keeping squirrels in check, all in a day's work. They're the Einsteins of the dog world, without the wild hair, but with an equal knack for problem solving. The Golden Retriever, a breed that seems to have discovered the elixir of happiness. With their golden locks and perpetual wagging tails, these dogs radiate warmth and affection. They're like the eternal optimists who believe that every tennis ball thrown is the most important event of the day. And if their upbeat attitude doesn't bring a smile to your face, their incessant tail wagging certainly will. Number 4. Now let's meet the Bulldog, the charming rascals who've turned snoring into an art form. Bulldogs have a face only a mother or a fellow bulldog could love, with their distinctive wrinkled expressions and endearing snorts. They're the comedians of the dog world, always ready to make you chuckle with their antics and hilarious snuffling noise. Last but not least, we have the poodle, a breed that's as elegant as it is intelligent. With their regal poise and tightly curled fur, poodles often look like they're headed to a formal ball, even when they're chasing their own tails. They're like the sophisticated scholars, gracefully navigating the world with a touch of flair. I think from memory, poodles came in at number 2 as the most intelligent dogs. Anyway, as we celebrate these remarkable companions, let's not forget the heartwarming stories that have become part of a dog lore. Take Hachiko, the loyal Akita dog from Japan, who waited at a train station every day for years after its owner's passing. It's a tale of unwavering devotion that reminds us of the incredible bond between humans and their four-legged friends. And just stopping for a moment, thanks to my dear son who told me on World Movies SBS the other day that Hachi, A Dog's Tale, was on, and I ended up a mess again. Yeah, I cry so easily. And that's why Sahara is my last dog. Every one of my dogs has shown me unconditional love. And I'll talk a little bit more about that in a minute. Anyway, and then there's the legend of Balto, the Siberian Husky, who led a sled dog team, through harsh conditions to deliver medicine during an epidemic in Alaska. Balto's courage and determination showcase the indomitable spirit of our furry pals. In conclusion, ladies and gentlemen, boys, girls, and everyone, whatever your gender is, the domestic dog is more than a pet. They're a chapter of history, a sympathy of loyalty, and a canvas painted with unconditional love. So whether your dog is a Labrador, a German Shepherd, or a poodle with aspirations of higher education, may they forever be our companions in laughter, tears, and the occasional squirrel chase. And remember, in a world that sometimes feels a bit rough, RUFF, our dogs are always there to remind us that happiness is just a wag away. Now, a couple of years ago, a man hurt himself and he couldn't get up off the floor. He survived it made the news in Australia. He survived by his dog. Not that this is pleasant in any way, but it's survival. The dog knew that water was in the toilet bowl, so the dog would go to the toilet and give the man drinks of water. Talk about love. And when I grieved the loss of Jimmy was Sahara's puppy, the eldest one. He was a white throwback to a Westie, and he loved the ball, and he was intelligent. When I grieved the loss of him at age only 6, because he had a sudden heart attack, someone shared something so beautiful. They said, "Jem, dogs only live a short life because they already know how to love unconditionally, but we humans need a lifetime and we still don't get it right." So I hope I've given you a smile. So go, if you have a dog, give it a cuddle, give it a pat, give it a treat, because they deserve it. And do you know what really annoys me are these people who bash their dogs, or these people who train dogs for dog fighting, for greed, for money. These dogs are beautiful. They're not. Don't get me started. That's a whole new different line of thought, and I wanted this to be loving, sentimental, and light-hearted. That if you out there are cruel to your dog, or you're training it in a dog fight and you think that's great to be an aggressive dog, 1,000 curses on you, my friend. You know, you're not my friend. And I hope you get what's coming to you. I'm sorry. You can see how much my dogs mean to me. I've owned so many. And just out of interest, my first dog in England was called Patch. Now, I didn't name my dog Patch. We got Sahara, that's my dog now, and she's going to be the last dog I ever own, off the internet. We got her pregnant. We didn't get her pregnant. She was pregnant because she was free. But her name, before we changed her name to Sahara, was Patches. Isn't that interesting that my first and last dog have the same or similar name? I find that loopy. All right, this video is done. Thank you for watching. Tomorrow I go do volunteer work, and stick with me because it'll only be about 20 minutes and I'll be uploading paranormal. You have a really good night. Remember, cherish every moment. Cherish your dog. Cherish your cat. Cherish whatever pet you have, because they love you. Even if it's a horse, a ferret, a guinea pig. I've been emotional over losing goldfish. That's how much pets mean to me. Pets do love you. Pets are here to show us how to love. With that, this video is done, and I love you. Thank you for watching. Goodbye.